Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Total Football Talk. So, we're going to look at the latest news coming out surrounding Manchester United, and we'll have a quick look back at the match last night and some of the takeaways from it. I'm Keith, I'm the host of this little channel. Little being the operative word, I'm tiny. So, anyone who is joining me, I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much for any of your subscriptions or your likes or your comments. I really, really appreciate it. But let's jump straight into the news, and we'll start with Garnacho, who is a massive draw according to Ben Jacobs for Napoli. We know that Napoli are keen. We know that they have held talks with him. We know that a first bid had been placed at around 34 million. United rejected it. United also rejected the next bid, which is about 40 million. Again, I think Ben Jacobs has confirmed this. 40 million. Manchester United have turned it down. United value him much higher. Now, where do you value him? What do you think he's worth? Do you think he's a winger that's worth 60 million? Please drop a comment in below. Let me know what you think. Do you think he's worth 60 million? Do you think he's worth 70 million? Do you think he's worth 40 million? Where is he sitting in all this? I mean, if you look at the match last night, he did some good things and he maybe wasn't as good in other areas. I think the physicality side of things for Garnacho is a little bit tough in the Premier League. I do think he's a very good player. I do think there's potential there. I do think there's a lot to work with. Can Ruben work with him, or is it better for Ruben to sell him and bring in someone else who suits the system quicker? Has Ruben got the time? It's the question. Has he got the time to work with Garnacho? Ahmad is already on fire. We can see that in the match last night. Can Garnacho get to Ahmad's level? He's a couple of years younger with a few less years of experience. So can Ruben Amorim afford the time to work with him and get the best out of him? Or is it a better case of to sell him, move him on, bring the money in, and bring in a player that Ruben Amorim would prefer? I'd love to see Garnacho stay and try and work. I don't think the Glazers and Ineos are going to look at it that way. They're going to look at it from a business operational side. If they can get 60 million, I think they may let him go. But I think they're going to say no unless they get that amount of money. I think they value him very, very highly. And I believe that they're going to hold out for that figure or in something in and around that mark, maybe 50 to 60 million. I think if they get that, unfortunately, we've become a buy to sell club. We're going to have to, a sell to buy club. We're going to have to sell players to bring players in. We've never really been that type of club before. We are maybe heading that way because of the mismanagement of this club from top to bottom. The Glazers have destroyed it. Ineos have come in, and from a financial point of view, yes, they pumped money in, but they haven't really been able to affect certain things. The stadiums hasn't moved forward. There's in terms of bringing new players in, they haven't been able to figure that one out. They've done this internal review. I'd love to know what came from that internal review. I'd also love to know what Sir Jim Ratcliffe means by putting the Manchester back in Manchester, because I've still no idea what that is a year into this whole process. And all this combination of things comes to the point that Garnacho is potentially going to have to be sold because the club's in the financial mess because of the people who own it have destroyed it. And it really annoys me that that's where we are with it. And that means we're now a club that have to sell our current prospects because back in the day, Sir Alex Ferguson had time to work with players, bring them through, make them great. Ruben Amorim maybe doesn't have that time, so maybe he's thinking, okay, fine, if you can get a fair deal and we can bring someone in as a replacement, maybe that is the way forward. So that's where we are with Garnacho. Napoli won him. Napoli have already stated clearly that he's their guy. Whether they get him, whether they can afford him, United know that they have the money because they've sold Cavaglia to Paris Saint-Germain for nearly, I think it's 59, 60 million. So United know they have the money. Are they prepared to spend all that money again on another winger? I think obviously Napoli want to do a cheaper deal. They don't want to spend all that money. So now it's a case of it's in the hands of the United board. What are they going to do? How are they going to make the deal happen if they want this deal to happen? And when's it going to happen? It's going to happen now. Is going to happen in the summer. Let's try and figure this one out. I think they'll probably try and do it now because it'll help them for the next year's financial situation. So he could go. He could well go in this transfer window, but we need a replacement. And that replacement won't be Marcus Rashford because Marcus Rashford is being looked at by Dortmund, which the MEN reporting that Dortmund are keen on a loan, but they're also keen to buy him. So whether that's a loan to buy or a straight buy, I'm not entirely sure yet. We don't know. But I believe that Marcus Rashford has got to go. Yeah, he's been here. He's been here for a long time. But look, he won't 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many games has he not played in recently? There's a lot of games he hasn't played in, and he's getting rusty, and he needs to find form. And even if he's picked up at the end of January, in February, a club he's still going to be finding a bit rusty, but he's taking his time. What's he holding out for? I believe he's holding out for Barcelona. I believe he wants Barcelona to come in and give him the contract and the platform that's probably the biggest platform out there beyond Manchester United to kind of move on to. So I believe that's what he wants. AC Milan are still there, still a big attraction, still in the Champions League. Zlatan's doing his business to try and bring him in. So let's see if they can keep working on that. Dortmund are in the mix. Again, another big club, but they're not a Barcelona and they're not Bayern Munich. So maybe Rashford still thinks I am above a Dortmund. But I think Dortmund could come in and spend the money, bring him over to Germany, and he could reignite his career over there. I think wherever he goes, he's a chance to reignite his career. But I think if he goes to Barcelona, he's going to find it difficult because they have a lot of good players. He's going to have to fight really hard to get into that team. Has he got the fight? Maybe he will, but he definitely doesn't have it at Manchester United. So let's see where this one goes. Whether is it Dortmund? Is it AC Milan? Is it Barcelona? I think he wants Barcelona. Drop in the comments below. Which do you think it is? Hit me up. Give me some ideas who you think Manchester United or who Marcus Rashford wants to go to. I'd be interested to hear what you guys think. Also, we will look at the other thing that Sir Jim Radcliffe has said. Manchester United will not sell Marcus Rashford to a rival. So he won't go to a rival club in terms of England in the Premier League. He won't go to Arsenal. He won't go to Chelsea. And I can see how that is, from Jim Radcliffe's point of view, that is probably the way forward. I don't think I'd like to see him go to a rival club and do well, because that would just really annoy me, really, really frustrate the hell out of me, because he hasn't been able to put it in at United. So I don't want him going to an Arsenal or a Chelsea and deciding that now's the time I'm going to turn up. Go and do it in a European league, and show what you can do out there. So if Sir Jim is saying that and that's coming through the MEN, okay, fine. Let's keep looking at those European clubs, and let's move forward with that if that's what is going to actually happen. And Thomas Frank has come out and said that Mbeumo won't be moving during this transfer window. So that's a no for you. That's no for anyone. Not moving. United are interested. He's a very, very good player. Would work well for Ruben Amorim in one of those 10 positions off the striker, or he could even play up front himself. Very, very good player. I like him. I rate him. He's done brilliantly in the Premier League this season, in his mid-20s as well, so fits that profile of the player that we're looking for. Let's see. Maybe in the summer that's a deal that we can look at. But right now, I think Brentford want to make sure that they're stable and in the Premier League. And, they rarely lost Ivan Toney, and they don't want to lose Mbeumo anytime soon. So he'll be staying at Brentford until this summer at least. So Manchester United need to look elsewhere. And finally, we'll just wrap it up with the Manchester United Southampton game. Really delighted for Ahmad. The kid, he's on fire. He's absolutely doing everything he needs to. He's been brilliant. He's working really hard, getting his head down, scoring goals, doing all the things the manager wants. We need every player to be doing what he's doing. He didn't even play well last night for the first 70 odd minutes. But he kept trying, kept going. That was the thing. He never gave up. Kept pushing Kyle Peter Walker. Kept pushing and pushing, driving him back into the box time and time again. Eventually he got his just rewards with the first goal, and that was the springboard to go on and get the second goal. And shout out to Xerxes, who came on and did very well, and Toby Collier in midfield. I was quite surprised at the Ugarte thing. I did have my concerns about that. I didn't know what Ruben Amorim was doing. What did you think when you seen Ugarte getting taken up? He wasn't having a good game, and it was ballsy. It was ballsy just to take him off, because I was like, oh man, Collier, not that I don't rate him, but difficult situation. Collier came on and did very well. Xerxes was excellent up front, but Ahmad was pure gold, because he never gave up. And when he got the sniff and he got the opportunity to grab the game by the scruff of the neck, he made it work. And yes, we made it. We got the points, which were critical. We didn't get the performance, which we do need. These players have got to step up. Can't just be about beating Manchester City and getting good results and having decent performances against Arsenal and Liverpool. You've got to win these games. Absolutely critical that we move up that league and that we find form in the Premier League. Yes, we're maybe good in the Cup, but I don't want to be a Cup team. I want to be a Premier League team. I want to be a team that moves up that league. So come on, let's find a way to keep fighting, move up that league. And And we'll lose more games, guaranteed. After seeing that last night, we will lose. I mean, we could lose to Brighton at the weekend. Don't think we will, but it's going to be another tough one. So let's go out there. Let's give it their all. Let's hammer and tongs on Sunday, and let's try and give Brighton one hell of a game. Okay, guys, thanks very much for listening, and I'll see you on the next one.